Hello guys, KTaNE here, and welcome to Gourmet Hamburger. This was one of two April Fool's Day mods made by GhostSalts, and it's sort of a play on Crazy Hamburger you might have seen before on my channel, and this time it's based on the Steamed Hams meme. You're Seymour Skinner, former principal of Springfield Elementary School, and now the world's greatest chef, Gary Chalmers, comes to criticise your food and you must make him lunch and you'll never forget. Hamburgers should do the trick. However, we've forgotten our recipe, but we've now done it to 3 options each time, and the way we decide what we're going to pick goes as follows. We're going to check the add condition of our 3 ingredients, and if one is an outlier, so 2 truths and a false, or 2 falses and a true, the outlier is what we add. However, if all of them end up getting the same, so true, 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 or false, 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 we just add the highest one in the table. Those are the only 2 options you can get. But also, each time, we had to evaluate an end condition for all 3 of the things that appear. Sometimes the add condition must apply for the end condition to apply, but some of them don't have to have the original thing apply to also then apply itself. So, if any of these end conditions are true, we have to press the Bon Appetit button and serve our burger. Otherwise, we just add the correct thing to our burger. So, in this case, our first 3 possible ingredients, are bacon, green beans, and lettuce. So first, let's evaluate if any of the end conditions already apply. If the number of layers so far is 10 or more, we don't have any. If the burger so far contains more meats than vegetable and sauces combined, all of them are 0, so there's not more. And this one, if the burger so far contains green beans, I'm not sure if the burger will ever contain green beans. So basically, green beans is just basically one that basically just takes up a spot, basically. And I don't think will ever be right unless there's one condition that I haven't thought of. So, now let's evaluate the add conditions. So, we have lettuce, bacon, and green beans. Well, we already know from what I just said, green beans never apply, so this is always going to be false. Let's check the other 2. Lettuce requires that the burger so far contains fewer vegetables than meats. They're both the same, so this is also false. And bacon requires the burger to so far contain an egg, which it doesn't, or fewer meats and sauces, also false. Both of these are false. We checked all the end conditions, none of them are true. So our first ingredient to add is lettuce. If you get it right, you should get Seymour Skinner saying yes or something along those lines. I'll turn the sound up for the next one. So in this next one, let's first note down we added lettuce. Similar to Crazy Hamburger, you'll have to keep track of what you already added for some cases. So in this next one, we have green beans again. We have a patty. And we have, I think this one is the cod. There's cod and salmon. I'm pretty sure this one's the cod. So again, green beans won't apply. But let's first check the end conditions again. In this case, we've got patty, cod, and green beans. We have if add applies, let's just quickly check the add condition. The previous layer is not meat. Previous layer is lettuce, so not meat. And the burger so far contains meat. It does not contain meat, so this is false. So this is false as well. The cod. If the number of layers so far is 8 or more, that's already false. If it was salmon, it would already be false. And then this one, of course, won't apply either. So we're still not ending here. So let's check these conditions. So we've already said that this one was false. And this one, sorry. If the number of layers so far is less than 3, this is true. So we're going to be adding the cod. So hopefully if I've identified this right, I'm pretty hoping I have. Our next ingredient is going to be cod, which we got right. Up next we have, thankfully the sauces, pretty much all of them say their names on them. So this time we have mayonnaise, we have lettuce again, we have egg. Again, let's first check the end conditions for egg, lettuce, and mayo. Egg, we have, if the sum of the digits in the serial number, 7 plus 4 is 11, is less than the number of layers. 11 is not less than 2, so not yet. Mayonnaise's end condition is if add would only apply if mayonnaise wasn't a sauce. So this is an interesting one, because the add condition is if the burger so far contains at most one meat and no sauce. So that means if the add condition would only have applied if mayonnaise wasn't a sauce, aka it only didn't apply because we had a source of mayonnaise in the burger already, then that end condition would be true. Bit of a convoluted one. It's basically another way of saying the only sauce we've added up to this point is mayonnaise, and mayonnaise has to exist in the burger. In this case, no it doesn't. Because either way, this is true because we have no sauce and at most one meat. I think cod is classified as a meat? Yes. And if mayonnaise wasn't a sauce, we don't even have to check that because this is already true. And finally, lettuce, number of layers 10 or more, doesn't apply. So now let's check the add conditions. We already checked the mayonnaise one. We now know that the mayonnaise one is true. The lettuce one, if the burger so far contains fewer vegetables than meats, it's actually the same, so that's not fewer, so that's false. And egg, if the last digit of the serial number, 4, is greater than the number of layers in the burger so far, which is true, so we could be adding the lettuce again. I keep on forgetting to show off the sound, but that, in this case, he sometimes does a laugh and then says yes. Okay, this next one. Okay, this is an interesting one. This is a bunch of leaves, which I'm going to assume only lines up with basil. There aren't anything else that would be that shape. So yeah, that's basil. This sort of grinder thing is pepper. Oh, and salt and pepper. So we actually got 3 untyped ones. If you ever see untyped, it means the ones in white. This one's. This one. So, let's check the end conditions. If the burger so far contains every ingredient type except sauces, that means it must contain one untyped, one meat, and one vegetable, but not contain sauces. Or I think except means sauces aren't a requirement to fulfill that. But however, we don't have a untyped ingredient yet, so that's false. Salt, if add applies and the burger so far contains pepper, and this one is the vice versa of that. In both cases, we don't have salt or pepper in it already, so both of those are going to be false anyway. So let's check all of the conditions. As you can see, these two conditions are actually pretty much identical. If the burger so far has 5 or more layers, false, which also means this one's false as well. So salt, pepper, and basil, false and false. And then the basil one. If the burger so far contains exactly 2 distinct ingredient types, we do have that. We have 1 vegetable and 1 meat. We have 1 meat and 1 vegetable. So this one is true. So we'd be adding the basil. And since we had no end conditions either, we're going to add it. I keep on forgetting to show it off, but okay, I'll do it on this one. Let me turn up the sound in advance for this one. Sorry if you can't hear me over it now. Probably be fine though. So we have bun, asparagus, and pepper again. Check the end conditions. If add applies, let's quickly check the add condition. And we can technically note down what we already have. Bun, pepper, and what's the last one again? Asparagus, yeah, that's it. Bun. If add applies, if the burger so far is not empty, it's not empty. It is not empty. And the first ingredient in the burger so far is the same type as the last one. Interesting one. Basil and lettuce are not the same type. The first one being lettuce, the last one being basil, aren't the same type. So this is not true. So this one's false, meaning also this can't be true. The pepper one, again, we know is not true because we don't have any salt. And asparagus one, if add applies, if the burger so far has 2 or more layers, the previous layer has a longer name than the layer before that. Basil is not longer than lettuce, so that is false. So all of them are false. Let me just check that again. Yeah. So this one can't apply either. So in this case, we just go for the highest one up.
Yes.
Hopefully you heard that time. Going to turn the sound back down again now. Up next, we have bell peppers. We have tomatoes. And we have salami. So let's find these. We have bell peppers, tomatoes, and salami. Check the end conditions again. We have, if add applies, let's quickly check add. If the number of layers in the burger so far and the number of vegetables have different priorities, that means one is odd and one is even, or the other way around, but not both odd or both even. So the number of vegetables we have, lettuce and lettuce. We have 2 of these. And the number of layers we have in the burger so far is 5, so that is actually true. Bell peppers. First of all, let's check the end condition. If add applies and the burger has exactly 5 layers so far, this is true. So in this case, we can ignore everything else and serve the burger. Again, there's a self sound to that. I forgot to turn the sound up for that again. You'll get to find out when you try out the mod. It is quite a good one. Before I finish off, let's see if there's any rules I want to quickly mention as sort of a side note. Asparagus, the end condition, when it says both names are shorter than this ingredient name, that means both the previous ingredients referred to in this rule are shorter than the word asparagus. Other than that, I think everything is pretty much accounted for. Just a reminder that red is meats, green is vegetables, blue is sauces, and others is white. And untyped counts as a type. Don't know if there's anything else I need to explain here. So hopefully this gives you a better understanding of how Gourmet Hamburger works now. And I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. I'll see you later.